Today, we're diving into World Orangutan Day, which rolls around every year on August 19th. But, this isn't just about celebrating a really fascinating animal. We're going to explore exactly why protecting these incredible great apes is absolutely crucial for the health of our entire planet. It's really a story of deep connection, ecological balance, and ultimately, human responsibility.
So let's just dive right into the main question here. You're probably wondering, how does the survival of an ape way out in Southeast Asia actually impact global climate and biodiversity? Well, to answer that, we've got to start with a super intimate look at who these animals actually are, how they live, and why we are just so deeply connected to them. Once we understand the micro-level details of their daily lives, their massive macro-level impact on the planet becomes totally undeniable.
Section 1. People of the Forest. Shared Heritage.
The very name orangutan tells you a whole lot about how they're perceived by the people who share their home. It literally comes from the Malay and Indonesian words orang, meaning person, and hutan, meaning forest, so person of the forest. And this really reflects centuries of local recognition of their remarkably human-like appearance, their gentle behavior, and their absolutely undeniable intelligence. They aren't just animals hanging out in the trees. They've long been viewed as deeply relatable beings.
Now, what's truly amazing here is that this local folklore is completely backed up by modern science. Scientific studies place orangutans right alongside us in the great ape family, along with chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas. In fact, we share roughly 97% of our DNA with them. They are quite literally among our closest living evolutionary relatives, and that shared DNA manifests in some absolutely incredible ways.
That genetic closeness, it translates into astonishing intelligence. Their cognitive abilities easily rival those of young human children. They don't just act on basic instinct, they actively learn by watching others. They craft tools from sticks, they use leaves as makeshift gloves or umbrellas, and they display really deep emotions. In captivity, they've even mastered touchscreens and solved some pretty complex puzzles. And out in the wild, get this. One of their most amazing daily feats is constructing a brand new, intricate sleeping nest high up in the tree canopy every single evening. Literally, imagine having to build a brand new bed from scratch every single night.
And because their survival skills are so incredibly complex, like figuring out which fruits to eat, how to build those intricate nests, and how to navigate the canopy, infants actually have to learn all this from their mothers. They stay closely attached to their mom's side for 7 to 8 years. That is one of the longest, most vulnerable childhoods in the entire mammal kingdom. And since females only give birth to a single infant every 7 to 9 years, their populations recover incredibly slowly from any kind of decline.
Moving on to Section 2. Meet the 3 species, critically endangered. So every wild orangutan is found naturally on just 2 islands, Borneo and Sumatra. Looking at the 2 most well-known species, we have the more numerous Bornean orangutans. They've got larger bodies, broader faces, and tend to lead a more solitary lifestyle. Contrasted against them are the Sumatran species, which are generally a bit lighter in color, have longer facial hair, and are way more social, actually, spending even more of their time way up high in the dense rainforest canopy. But despite these differences, both are officially classified as critically endangered.
But here's a fact that completely blew my mind. Scientists only discovered a 3rd species, the Tapanuli orangutan, in 2017. I mean, that was just a few years ago. And today, there are fewer than 1,000 individuals left. They are barely clinging to survival in a tiny, isolated region of North Sumatra, making them the absolute rarest great ape and, honestly, one of the most endangered mammals on the entire planet. Across all 3 species, though, they share some awe-inspiring physical adaptations for life up in the trees. They are, hands down, the largest tree-dwelling mammals on Earth. An adult male can stand up to 1.5 meters tall and weigh over 100 kilograms. They also boast this massive arm span that can exceed 2 meters, complete with hook-like hands and feet designed perfectly for gripping branches. Oh, and those distinctive large cheek pads you see on mature males, those are actually called flanges, and they use them to attract mates and establish their social dominance.
All right, Section 3, Rainforest Gardeners, Ecosystem Role. And this brings us right back to our initial question about saving the planet. Orangutans are often called the gardeners of the rainforest, and their daily routine acts as this incredibly powerful ecological engine. Over half their diet can consist of fruit. And because they have this exceptional spatial memory, they travel vast distances across the forest canopy just to find these fruiting trees. As they eat and move around, they disperse seeds over huge areas through their waste. A lot of tropical tree species actually rely entirely on large animals like orangutans for this seed dispersal. Simply put, they are the ones regenerating the forest and maintaining its incredible plant diversity. So why does regenerating a forest halfway across the world matter to you and me? Well, without these gardeners, the rainforests suffer and we end up losing some essential global services. Healthy tropical forests act as massive carbon sinks. They store enormous amounts of carbon, which directly mitigates climate change. On top of that, they regulate global rainfall and weather patterns, and their complex root systems prevent soil erosion, which protects our freshwater systems. So, conserving orangutans isn't just a local issue in Southeast Asia. It directly benefits the climate regulation of the entire globe.
Which brings us to Section 4, Threats to Survival, a Vulnerable Future.
Tragically, the absolute greatest threat they face today is the large-scale destruction of their home. Forests are continually being cleared for agriculture, infrastructure, widespread logging, and mining. And what this does is create habitat fragmentation, essentially breaking the continuous forest into smaller, isolated islands. That severely limits their breeding opportunities and traps entire populations. Add to that the absolute devastation of human-caused forest fires, plus the overarching shadow of climate change, which alters rainfall and reduces the availability of the fruit they desperately rely on, and you've got a compounding crisis. Now, we really have to talk about palm oil for a second, as it is one of the leading drivers of this habitat loss. Looking objectively at this issue, palm oil itself is a highly efficient crop and an incredibly widely used vegetable oil. The problem isn't the plant itself, it's the unsustainable expansion of plantations right into natural forests. However, there is a realistic path forward. Certified sustainable production offers a really practical way to enforce stronger land use policies. This allows us to meet global demand responsibly while still protecting these vital ecosystems. Furthermore, there's the truly heartbreaking reality of the illegal wildlife pet trade. Because orangutan infants cling so closely to their mothers for years, capturing a baby almost always involves the tragic killing of the fiercely protective adult female. This leaves behind a deeply traumatized orphaned infant. When these poor animals are finally confiscated from the trade, they require years, literally years, of dedicated medical care and behavioral rehabilitation before they can even be considered for release back into protected forests. Let's look at some solutions in Section 5, how we can help, action and resolution. The good news here is that conservationists are actually achieving some really meaningful progress. They're successfully establishing protected national parks and wildlife corridors to reconnect those fragmented habitats we talked about. But what's really fascinating is how they're blending traditional anti-poaching patrols and community conservation with some truly cutting-edge tech. Researchers are now deploying drones and satellite imagery to keep an eye on remote forests. They use environmental DNA and GPS to track populations, and they're even employing artificial intelligence to quickly analyze habitat data and respond to emerging threats. Science is literally providing the blueprint for their survival. And hey, you don't need a drone or an advanced AI degree to help out. You can directly empower these efforts in your own daily life. It starts right at the grocery store. Just check your products for certified sustainable palm oil labels. You can also support reputable conservation organizations or engage in responsible ecotourism that actually respects the wildlife. Even something as simple as reducing your overall waste and unnecessary consumption takes a ton of pressure off natural resources. And finally, just sharing reliable scientific information, like what you're learning right now, raises critical awareness in your own network. Every single informed choice helps. As we observe World Orangutan Day, we really need to shift our perspective. Conservation isn't solely about preventing extinction, it's about preserving resilient ecosystems. Protecting orangutans safeguards biodiversity. It preserves those incredible carbon-rich forests, and it helps maintain the very ecological processes that sustain all life on Earth. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought for today's explainer. Knowing that our fates are so deeply intertwined with our closest relatives, and knowing that a healthy planet absolutely relies on a healthy rainforest, what small action will you take today to help protect the people of the forest? Think about it, talk about it with your friends, and let's make a difference. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.